90 to 95% of people who signed up 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I had nothing to sell them because I would sell expectations, which are, this shit's hard. It's not easy. It will never be easy. And anyone telling you getting sales over the phone is easy is lying to you. And they're probably a coach that sells a coaching course. So this was a solution to have an answer for everybody where, lower cost packages, this, that, the other, and to also plug in other companies that do the things I don't do. So the system's built like data visualization where it's pretty, we'll go over it in a separate meeting, but that's awesome.
I'll say this. One of the reasons why I was so excited to join Brian at this company, and I've worked with Brian on a few things over the 10 years or so that we've known each other. He is so much about empowerment, is so much a part of like who he is as a person. And this as a goal and as an infrastructure is empowerment at its core. And it's one of the reasons I really enjoy being a part of this, is because of this right here, because you're looking for this solution. And look at how these guys, these legacy guys, their idea of defensible space is just to price gouge you as a client rather than empower you to like go amplify what they provide as an opportunity and as a service. And it just, in the modern era, doesn't make sense to have that mentality anymore. So again, I love this stuff. And the part of it is because it's a validator for me that, yeah, what I think I know about Brian is actually what is true about Brian. And it's proven every time we do something like this. And we recognize another way that we're solving, frankly, an overpriced problem.
So the tech project, the developer, he's kind of doing kind of like a competitor to Palantir. They're big databases and stuff, but it's all over my head. So I think this is more practical what you guys are doing. Well, whatever works.
Cool. Like that's what's cool about this. If there's other data providers, the whole point of this is for us to give great access to data. Where traditionally we need, at the bare minimum, you would need Snowflake, bare minimum, and a little bit higher level, you architect your own, cloud server with Google. But yeah, I mean that's what we're trying to bridge. What we believe we can make data providers more money by increasing the access of businesses that can monetize data. We should write that down.
I agree 100% with what you're saying. We're in an era that's going to empower small businesses unlike never before. Now small businesses can compete with AI and the advancements that are happening and platforms like this. One person now has the power of 10 to 15 people. And it's going to be interesting to see how entrepreneurs start to evolve in this new landscape.
Your site it's essentially a convergence of buyers and sellers of data, which is beautiful, and all the little
infrastructure
segments and stuff. Yeah, awesome.
Are there user profiles like not like a social media style, but are there user profiles of the data provider kind of validates?
Give us as much information of what you want developed, because that's all front end easy stuff. Like I'm a back end guy, so I for 5 years I've only worked on back end, and this is the only front end we ever did. So the more, that's very useful. So that's what I was trying to say, making social media networking back and forth.
There is in the roadmap, there definitely is going to be, because what we want people to do is kind of rate or rank data providers, right? And we want that to be sort of very visible, because we want people who provide high quality data to be rewarded. So it's definitely in the roadmap.
We should definitely follow up on that as well, because I've got something that I've been working on for performance marketing in general, to create a network, right, of trusted marketers, because obviously it's so saturated with, especially home services is saturated with all kinds of scammers. But really the way I was thinking of doing it would be on the blockchain and rewarding people for data, like data providing or anything that they do, and the more exchanges they do, the higher credibility they have. But if I could look at somebody's profile and see what their specialty or their niche was and what databases that they have available, and I could do a little research on them, right, it would lead me to want to purchase their unique data because of the way that they're filtering and pulling it, right? I see that they're a successful business and they've got this data available. It would drive me to probably purchase it.
Yeah, and data's a commodity. Data is worthless if it's not in the right place at the right time in the right hands. So, our whole viewpoint is data is absolutely worthless. It's the system and method to deliver it to the right people. And then I go back to Bloomberg terminal. where as soon as this happened, when they digitalized it, that's when the market increased. That's when you've seen substantial increases, because you didn't have you didn't have traders and an underground railroad sending, like in New York City, up and down Times Square, up and down to Wall Street. There was, and there still is, I think, an underground railroad just for bringing the stock trade back and forth to make it fast. And then it got computerized. So, I mean, that's kind of what we're trying to do with data, try to consolidate as much of this as possible to simplify it for the end user, who ends up needing to actually do the thinking of how to use it. And the thinking is the hard part. So that's making it easy to access and easy to combine.
I use the data that I'm using right now for my roofing. It's Deal Machine. It's a real estate software, and you can only get it's high quality data, but you get 100,000 exports a month, and it's $500. So this is way better. But so